Hi, TikTok. If I've landed on your For You page, leave a comment, like, share. That way I know that I am actively working my way through the TikTok algorithm. A little bit about myself. I just wanted to let everyone in on who I am and what makes me tick. I am, well, first and foremost, my name is Diane. Everyone who knows me calls me Lady. That's my nickname. And I'll get into that another day why they gave me that nickname. I'm a mother of two twins, a boy and a girl. Loves of my life. They're super amazing children, teenagers, many adults, eating me out of house and home. But I wouldn't change it for the world. They're truly a blessing. And I'm an interpreter and translator, amongst a couple other things. But I wanted to really speak about being a interpreter and translator and why I decided to really get into this field. So I was born in Haiti, and I came here when I was 3.5, 4 years old. When we came to the U.S., my dad was able to get a job at the sugarcane mills in Louisiana. And from him getting that type of job back then in the 80s, I know, the 1900s, it's crazy. But him being able to get that job from Haiti in the sugarcane mills in Louisiana, he was able to apply for my mother, myself, and my little brother at the time to be able to come into the U.S. And so my parents came to the U.S. Well, my mother and, my sibling and I came to the U.S. And, they didn't speak English. And so the great thing about a child's mind is that they're little sponges, right? And so naturally, I was born in Haiti. I was already speaking the language, the Haitian Creole language. And so coming into the US, picking up English it was nothing. I don't even remember being put into a special class or anything like that. Apparently I picked it up very easily, even though my family household did not speak English. But at school, they spoke English, and therefore I picked it up, and I was there speaking the language fluently, Haitian Creole and English. And so growing up, I was always translating and interpreting, and I'll explain one day, or you can Google it yourself. I mean, you carry a computer in your hand, you know what I'm saying? The difference between interpreting and translating. So I was always interpreting and translating for my family growing up because, my parents didn't speak the language fluently, but I did. So doctor's appointments, for work, school, legal, whatever it was, reading documents, helping them write documents. At a very young age, I was the one that was constantly doing that for them. And so throughout my whole life, I love my language. It's one of those languages that, realistically, it's not taught. If you understand anything, or if you are interested in ever doing research on Haiti and just learning about how everything is set up there, and I'm sure you've seen things on the news about how poor the country is or all the stuff that's going on there and whatever. But it's difficult for people to get a proper education unless you have money, okay? Or unless another, someone from a different country decides to put a school in or to sponsor you, whatever the case may be. But let's just say majority of the population is unfortunately uneducated, by means of not being able to have the funds to go to school. And so just being able to be in the US and being able to go to school and having the opportunities that have been afforded to me by way of my parents, is truly a blessing. And so I have a deep passion for the language, the Haitian language, and the American English language, because there is a difference between American English and British English, etc. The American English language. And so, I decided, and I've been interpreting for well over 20 years and professionally. And I really made the decision to do it almost exclusively this past year. I got into it exclusively because I realized that when it comes to the medical field, and I do have a background in the medical field, which, that's for another story time, but I have a background in the medical field. And so anytime I was working in the medical field, and anytime there were Haitian patients with their family members, friends, some other professional interpreters, an interpreter over the phone, video, whatever the case may be, usually 9 times out of 10, no interpreter at all. I noticed that the patient could not get the best level of medical care that they would normally be able to get because of the language barrier, right? So you imagine, and if you have experience with the medical system in the US, I'm not saying we have the worst, I'm not saying we have the best, but what I'm saying is if there is a language barrier, the odds are kind of stacked against you because you can't communicate what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, and the doctors are trying to guess, and you can't articulate what signs and symptoms you may be having. It's unless there's something very visibly happening to your body, or they've been able to run the test and can see what's going on. Someone who doesn't speak the language really can't express to the doctors, to the nurses, to the medical staff, like, hey, I have this pain right in this particular area, and it's been going on for this amount of time. And so many times a lot of people go undiagnosed, right? And there's a stigma, unfortunately, in the Haitian community too, where, and I honestly, I don't even think it's more so the Haitian community, but I think foreign communities in general, and I've noticed this with just different cultural, different people of different cultural backgrounds, where they don't want to really express possibly the amount of pain or suffering they may be going through. And there's different reasons as to why they may choose to withhold information. And a lot of times it's because of the way, back home, wherever they're coming from, the kind of things that they might have to deal with when it comes to religious beliefs or cultural and societal beliefs, or the kind of medical treatment that they might get. Anyway, I digress. And so I became a medical interpreter. Well, I do all kind of interpreting, but specifically I find the most peace in medical interpreting because I am able to be the voice for the voiceless. Meaning, yes, they have a voice, but they don't have a voice that is understood, unfortunately. And so I had a case today, and this particular patient, because of a lack of a medical interpreter, someone that could communicate effectively with them what the doctor is saying and vice versa, just being the voice, right? And letting them know, listen, be comfortable, say what you have to say, and expressing to them, like, this is America. Like, there's a reason why I love being in this country. I love being born in Haiti, but at the same time, like, realistically, I'd rather be in the United States right now, period. I don't know Haiti as my country. I know the United States of America as my country. And so there's a reason why you have a voice, you have a say, you have laws, because there are things and yes, granted, it doesn't always work out for the best, but realistically, there are systems put in place and are continuously being put in place to help those who need help, and to safeguard and protect those who need safeguarding and protecting. And so unfortunately, this particular patient, because they didn't have the proper interpreter there to communicate effectively with them, they have not taken a medication that they needed for their heart in over a month. Like, because they're like, well, no one called me. But most likely someone did call them and they just didn't understand what they were saying. If you're an interpreter, or if you speak a different language and you're interested in interpreting and translating, or you just want some information,